Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Flock's Nest Sports Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Dallas Reppin 52 of the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis.
As always, I'm the other half, Brendan Ribbon 54, Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks.
We got a great episode for you guys today. Obviously, going to talk football and college football, but before we do that, we got some WNBA news, some basketball, of course, baseball still in its playoffs, and we might talk a little hockey, some fun things going on TV, but not a lot of news. So let's kind of see where the day takes us.
Yeah.
But let's dive right in. We will start with the WNBA. As y'all know, if you've been following and listening to us, they have been in the middle of renegotiating a CBA contract for the players that was supposed to be concluded by the 31st of this month. Unfortunately, while I think they're getting there, they are not quite there yet. So the WNBA did offer a 30-day extension. If they can't come to an agreement on the extension, that can lead to strikes by the players or lockouts by the owners. So the extension just kind of gives them more time to get these things done, especially right now in the off season. So hopefully they do agree to that and we can see more headway made on them coming to a new agreement.
Nice.
Well, that does it for the WNBA. It's very exciting stuff. So we will kick it over to the NBA, whose regular season started last week.
Yes, regular season is underway. However, we have some slightly different news for the NBA. So there's a thing that happened. Not really sure how to describe it. But Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, among others, I will name others in a second, were arrested this past weekend for sports betting. This seems to be a very big thing going on right now. Among others arrested includes Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups for gambling as well. From my understanding, Terry Rozier was arrested for fixing games. He would provide information that is generally not provided to the public, to people, so that they could bet on certain things and win those bets. Chauncey Billups' situation is a little bit different. His is tied to the mafia and illegal poker games that were rigged with cameras and sensors and these things to help pretty much steal money from high-rolling gamblers. So, really weird situations going on. They have both been put on leave by the NBA. Not really sure where this is going to go. But this has all been done by the FBI. They have put out a couple things regarding the situation. There has been like 30 other names mentioned. Most of them are not involved in the NBA itself. So it's going to be a weird situation for the next little bit. We will bring any news as it comes, but this is going to be a pretty lengthy situation, from my understanding. And it's just a weird one. It's just a weird one.
Historically, when players are caught impacting gambling in that manner, whether they're changing how they play in a game or they're leaking information like that, those players are not allowed to return to their league. It is something that all sports leagues take extremely seriously. So, yes, we will obviously continue to see how that unfolds. I have an idea, I think, of how it ends, though.
Yeah.
As for Chauncey Billups, you've lost your job.
Whether you
It's
did
a
it or
little
not.
easier to fire a head coach. It just is. And then however that plays out, it plays out, but you've lost your job.
Yeah. We've got some interesting situations happening. So
yeah, why is it always the NBA? I'm not saying other sports haven't had scandals, right? Because they absolutely have. Come up all the time. We're actually going to discuss a little one. It's not quite to this extreme, but we are going to talk a little one in the NFL right now. But I feel like in modern sports, it just always seems to be the NBA.
that's a good question. I don't know. They just have a thing for gambling, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a weird. It was very.
And it's like the season just started.
That's the thing. Is as the
it's like how we already fucking about.
Well, this has been going on for this investigation has been going on for.
Oh shit!
In some cases, I think the poker games for Chauncey Billups, it's been going on for a year plus. For Terry Rozier, it's also been going on for months to a year. This isn't new. So part of me is you chose now. You chose opening weekend.
Now to do this. Could have done it the week before season started. That would have been okay.
Yeah, it's just so odd to me currently as to the thought processes that went into doing the arrest now, and then also come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Fair
enough.
To be fair, it has been kind of funny. The claims against Terry Rozier, I think, are pretty legit. He is not very subtle. Let's put it that way. One of the things against him was he went out with a injury, and he told somebody prior to going out with the injury to bet his unders, knowing that he was going to leave early with an injury.
Well, that's kind of hard to argue with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
that's kind of hard to.
So, the Chauncey Billups situation, I have no idea if there's any validity to it.
Y'all make millions, like stupid amounts of money. I will only ever see in my dreams.
Yeah, and you find it necessary to help somebody out that way. You could just
give them money. You know?
Like a game check.
That's crazy.
Would suffice.
Yeah. Like one you know what I could do with one NBA player's game check? You know what Luka Doncic's game check is? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting situation as it unfolds. We haven't really been given more news as of yet, and truthfully, I don't expect this to get some for a while.
No, it's going to be a minute.
The only news we've gotten is that pretty much everybody involved has denied all accusations.
Well, of course they have.
That's the news. So
I don't think any players ever come out and been like, "Yeah, I did it. I'm the problem."
Yeah, no, so yeah, that's where we're at.
All right. Well, we will continue to see how that unfolds. Unfortunately, opening weekend was tarnished a little bit. We will continue to watch and enjoy the NBA and see how all of this plays out. In the meantime, we will kick it to NHL. I don't believe there's any news,
I don't
but
think
Brendan
there
and
is.
I did watch some hockey. They
Watched quite a
did
bit.
their Frozen Frenzy last night, which is always a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you get all 32 NHL teams playing in the same night, it can cause
Yeah.
a lot of interesting moments. It was really fun. It was really fun to watch. I believe they didn't break the record this year for most goals in a single NHL night. They did, I think, last year do that when they did the Frozen
Yeah.
Frenzy. This year they only managed 109 goals. They're slacking. Um, it was a great night. A lot of really good games. Obviously watched the Avs, but I had it on. Was watching pretty much all the games. It was kind of hard when you do this because no game really stands out to you. Um,
Yeah.
More just because I wasn't paying attention enough to one individual game. So it's always fun. I do love this kind of thing for the NHL, being able to kind of see a bunch of teams that I probably won't watch otherwise. They're just teams in the league that aren't very good and don't really feel the need to watch them. So this was fun. I kind of hope they keep doing things like it. Um, I don't think it necessarily needs to be all 32 teams need to play on that night to do it, but that seems to be what they're doing and how they do it.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's hard unless something seriously dramatic happens for any game to stand out when it's that many. Um, but it's fun to watch. It's fun to get excited for. I had a great time, and I think it's good for the league as hockey continues to grow in popularity.
yeah, to have just a night where you can watch the entirety of the league and
Yeah,
see really what's happening everywhere.
great. Alrighty. Well, then we will kick it into the MLB. Currently in the midst of their World Series final
Yes,
between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
yeah. We are 4 games in. As it stands, it is tied 2-2. Um, Bodes well. It's been a good series so far. Blue Jays took game one, 11-4. Kind of dominated towards the end of that game. Um, just kind of got to the Dodgers bullpen. It happens. Game two, Dodgers came back and got the win in that one, 5-1. Um, the Dodgers aren't ever going to go quietly, and we're kind of seeing that. Shohei is really good at baseball, and he is showing it right now. In game three was probably the best game of baseball I've ever watched. Just have to put it out there. Um, Went 18 innings, which means they played 2 full games of baseball in a single night. Um, Kind of ridiculous. The game ended 6-5 in favor of the Dodgers, with Freddie Freeman hitting the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 18th inning. Um, this game was pretty incredible. Shohei hit 2 home runs and was on base 9 times, I believe, in the game, which is, I believe, a record. It was an insane game. Um, to go 18 innings is rare. Um, so that one was really fun. Stayed up for till midnight Pacific time for that one. So probably wasn't the best thing to do, but it was a great game, and I was pretty committed to watching that thing end. Is really what happened. And then game four, which was yesterday, ended 6-2 Blue Jays. to tie the series back up. So, series is tied. They have one more game in LA before they head back to Toronto. So we'll see where things end up here. I want to say, if you look at it from all sports, whoever wins Game 5 when the series is tied 2-2 normally goes on to win the whole series. I don't know what the actual percentages are, but it's like 60 to 70% of winners of Game 5 go on to win the series. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited. I think this game today, as I said, is going to be pretty important to decide who goes on to win it. So I'll definitely be watching it. Should be good. Should be exciting.
So I have with intent. Turned on 2 baseball games this year. They both went long time. Turned on Game 3. I was like, okay. Not really paying attention, but it's on. Had exciting moments. I was like, cool. Tied. Bottom of the 8th. Top of the 8th.
Yeah.
3 hours later, for 3 hours, nothing happened. And the walk-off home run. I was talking to people in Toronto, just begging for it to end.
Well, I think it was like 3.
Didn't care who won at that point.
It was like 3.
Just wanted it over.
Yeah, the East Coast, 3 a.m.
I
That's tough.
Didn't care. Definitely just wanted it over.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm glad that the Blue Jays are given a fight. They've played well. Happy for them. We'll see how Game 5 goes. I agree. We've seen that historically. Hockey, basketball. Game 5 is always really important. It was the second longest game in World Series history at 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
And y'all already know how I feel about baseball. You make it 6.5 hours, and I'm the problem apparently, because I turn on a baseball game and it's like, let's make this as long as possible. Like, what is that? There's about to be a new rule in my house. No baseball. Did turn on Game 4. That went normal. So I think the curse is broken. I'm really hoping. But it was a great game. I was begging for death.
But I also I prefer, and I like the storylines of watching extra innings when every pitch matters, and watching the pitchers be able to execute. I thought that was really fun, especially for the Dodgers side. These guys that you don't expect to go out there and do well, for them to have their moment was pretty awesome.
And the thing I did take note of, the thing I did find interesting, right, was watching kind of how much the game changed throughout the inning. Was they took more chances, they did more creative things to try and get the win. I will give credit to what Otani accomplished in that game, because to be walked 5 times in a row and still have the game he had is it's very impressive.
Yeah.
So, and I've never, I think, quite experienced watching him play. Like, obviously I've seen some of the great home runs and stuff like that, but to watch that man obsessively try to steal bases is incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, he's fun.
So,
Didn't
I am watching it. Staying engaged. I don't want 6.5 hour games.
I would prefer
You go 10 innings? 11? That's fine. That's fine. 18 was too many.
Yeah.
At some point, let's just clear the benches, and the team with the most amount of players still standing wins. We can flip a coin. I don't care.
Nah, that's not how it works. I'm thankful they changed the regular season extra innings. But they'll never change the playoffs. So
It's so much. It's so much. Oh, and then I do have a complaint, actually. I do have a complaint.
okay.
I would like to be able to see the pitch clock.
Yeah, it helps.
Like y'all got this whole box of information that, admittedly, I don't always understand it. But you got a bunch of information over there. Not one of those things is the pitch clock.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
I think I've only ever seen it in like one broadcast.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do it like a play clock. Like it's not
Like,
hard.
I'm not saying it's the most important thing. Like, I'm sure football has more false starts than whatever penalty or violation comes from not pitching within the pitch clock. I see it. I want to know how the timing is going in the game. So,
It's weird because oddly enough, most of the time in the stadium, the pitch clock stadium or the pitch clock in the stadium is just outside of the camera angle.
that's crazy.
Like I've been to like 2 baseball games since they've instituted it, and yeah, it's like literally you have the camera angle and it's like there, and that's like the stadium one. So I just don't
I
understand
also
why you don't
wish
put it on the broadcast. I don't know.
I discovered why. I don't love the angle that you watch baseball at. I would prefer, I think, an overhead view. And seeing what, like, the runners on the base are doing, and I just would like to see. I think I would stay engaged a little more if I could see a little more. I'm never gonna get that, but
There might be alternate broadcasts because they have Skyview in ballparks.
okay. Well then, yeah. See, I would
So
like that,
there might be
and
alternate
then the pitch
broadcasts.
clock.
The
So,
pitch clock,
as someone
I get
new
it.
to watching baseball, I think my opinions should be heard, because this is how you get more people in.
Yeah, the
Because if
pitch.
you're gonna make me watch 6.5 hours, just give me a pitch clock.
Yeah, I was a little. I'm a little surprised. I didn't even notice that they don't. But thinking about it, they don't.
It took, I'll admit, I think it was inning 12 when I finally was like, where's that?
Hmm.
Like, so, yeah, I have been watching it. I'm sticking to my word. Just would like a little more of it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Or a little different.
A little different. Probably
Yeah.
a little less in terms of them going for 6.5 hours.
Yeah, just Because like you said, like once you're in it, right, you're in it.
Yeah.
And they put it up at one point. It was 2:30 in Toronto, 11:30 on the West Coast, and then 2:30 in the afternoon in Japan. And I'm like, the only people happy right now are in Japan.
But they've had to be up since like 6 to watch it. So
that's okay. I can get up early. It's the staying up and never knowing when it's going to end.
That is
like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You're just waiting. And they got close a few times, right? Both teams got close, and you were like, "This is it." And then it didn't happen.
What's sad though is even if the Blue Jays scored first, the game wouldn't have ended.
Yeah.
You still have to wait for the Dodgers to respond. And that would be the painful part, is the Blue Jays would take the lead, and then the Dodgers would find a way to tie it.
Crazy.
But
it's been a good series. We'll probably watch Game 5 tonight, or it will at minimum be on.
That's, I think, where I'm at. Is it'll at minimum be on. We'll see if we actually watch it.
Alrighty. Well, we will then move on from MLB and move on to college football, which I do believe we have a little breaking news before we get into the games that Brendan and I watched.
To continue with the theme of college football this season, we have another firing. Seems to be the running thing for this season of college football. This time it was LSU head coach Brian Kelly has been fired. Did not have a great game this weekend. And I think there were some other things that led to the firing. His tenure with LSU has not been spectacular since he's joined a program that was winning championships. Has not won a championship, so there's that. So not great there. I think there's some other issues with how he treats players and how he treats his staff. That's been a thing forever.
Just generally who he is as a person.
Yeah. That's been an issue forever. Since he was at Notre Dame. So, obviously, not great. Don't really want that for your university. So LSU is cutting ties, joining the long list of college football teams to fire their head coach this season.
Yeah.
See where we go from there.
Not surprising. Haven't done well. It's, for really lack of a better phrase, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And you can be tough on players, and you can be
Nick Saban.
Kind of, yeah. You can be Nick Saban. You can be Bill Belichick in the NFL. You cannot be a tyrant that doesn't win. And that's just the reality.
Yeah.
So, good luck to LSU and wherever they move forward. Brian Kelly has millions, and his payout for this was about $50 million. So
yeah, enjoy your money.
Yeah, it's really life has gotten easier for him. Now you don't have to coach. That's stressful.
Yeah, you can just pretty much
retire. You don't have to answer the media. You don't have to do anything. You can just ride off into the sunset
with
your bags and bags of money. So,
yeah, he wasn't going to get any sympathy out of me anyway. Didn't like him.
No.
Hated him,
No.
as a matter of fact. There are very few, like, coaches and players that have left my favorite teams that I've, like, despised. For the most part, I understand it's a business and it is what it is. But, like, completely just effing over Notre Dame and just bouncing for more money
Yeah.
at LSU ticked me
That's
off.
fair.
Now, to be fair, I think Notre Dame was better for it, but it was still not happy. So, he's never going to get any sympathy out of me at this point.
No. No. Well, alrighty. Let's talk games for the week. Who did you watch, Brendan?
Well, oddly enough, one of the games I watched was the LSU Texas A&M game.
Okay.
So, I watched the game that got him fired. Because Texas A&M beat their ass. 49-25 A&M. This was in Louisiana, and they whooped LSU. It wasn't really close. To be fair, I think this Texas A&M team is really good. They are 8-0, undefeated. One of the 3 undefeated teams left. I just think this Texas A&M team is really good. And then LSU side, you could see it just fall apart. They were kind of chugging along a little bit. We're at least in the game for a while there, and then you could see the moment it fell apart. And you could see the moment Brian Kelly lost his job.
Yeah.
And they were the same moment. So that's always good. The minute you yell at your head or at your quarterback, and your quarterback looks like he's going to kill you, you know you have a problem.
Yeah.
And then you bench the
Yeah.
quarterback. And the minute you bench the quarterback, you start doing better. It was like, I don't know. The whole thing for this game just felt like it was Brian Kelly's the game that lost Brian Kelly his job. And that's like the main takeaway I have from it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Texas A&M is really good, but my only takeaway is this game lost Brian Kelly his job.
Valid.
And then the other game I watched, I only really watched 2 of them this week. And the other one I watched was, where is it? Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Ole Miss gets the win 34-26. Unfortunately for Oklahoma, I think we'll start there. I think Oklahoma could be good. Their quarterback got hurt and is trying to play through injury. And I think that's worse than him not playing right now. So,
yeah,
it's one of those decisions I don't love. I respect the kid for trying to go out there and go through it, but I just don't think that should be the decision being made.
Especially for young college quarterbacks.
Like, I think this might be his last season of eligibility, but I don't think
it's not helping you.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Like, I don't know what's going to hurt you more, being hurt and not playing, or being hurt and playing and not looking good. I don't really know, but I just don't think he should be out there right now. Because it's pretty clear that he is limited in what he's capable of doing from what we saw earlier in the season while he was healthy. So yeah, that's on Oklahoma. On Ole Miss, I think this team's pretty good. 7-1. They've been beating good teams. They look pretty solid. Now, to be fair, this is kind of what Ole Miss has looked like under Lane Kiffin for a while now, and they haven't really turned it into much. So let's see. We'll see if they can actually put it together this year. I think this is one of the years they have a pretty good array of talent on both sides of the football. I really like some of their offense, and then their defense is, I think, pretty solid. I don't think their defense is the best, but I think it gets the job done. So that's where I sit with Ole Miss. I think they're good. I'm just not sure if they're going to put it all together because they just haven't ever put it all together. And then the last game I watched was Vanderbilt, Missouri. Vanderbilt won 17-10. Vanderbilt is just my team this year. It's just like I find myself watching them a lot just because I want to.
Yeah.
They're just a fun team this year. Vanderbilt, not traditionally a good school. I feel like we've talked about this before. Not traditionally good at football. So for them to be 7-1 this year and looking really good, looking like a playoff team, is really fun. And then they just beat, I think, a good Missouri team. And that's what you need to do right now. You need to beat good teams to be in the conversation for the playoffs. Obviously, their one loss coming to Alabama. I like this Vanderbilt team. I think they're a fun team. I think they have the right mix of everything to go on and be a good playoff team. And that's really why I watch them. I think they're just a fun team. And it's been fun. On Missouri's side, I have. It's hard to say because their starting quarterback went out very early in this game. And he was doing good things, and then a freshman came in to replace him. And I didn't feel like the freshman looked bad. You could just see he was a freshman. That being said, I felt like he outplayed Vanderbilt's quarterback. I think Vanderbilt's defense did also do quite a bit, and Vanderbilt's run game did quite a bit to help mitigate the quarterback shortcomings in this game. So I think Missouri played a good game. It just didn't feel like it was ever going to be enough, and that's my fear with Missouri this year. Is I think they'll play good games, they just won't ever be quite enough. So yeah, those were the 3 games I watched this weekend. Other than that, I think it was a pretty decent weekend of college football. Not a ton of blowouts, so that's always fun.
Well, I watched Alabama, South Carolina. Alabama does get the win, 29-22. Barely. Very, very barely. They were kind of whooping South Carolina in the first half. And I thought, all right, it's going to be a blowout game. Sounds good. I kind of think Alabama needs this. Needs that. And then they came out in the second half, and it was a train wreck. South Carolina comes back, even gets the lead, and then it's a dogfight for Bama to get tied and then ahead. And then South Carolina did still have a chance to win it at the end. It was more about South Carolina's mistakes at the end than Alabama's defense. Just truth be told. And that has kind of been Alabama's story this year, is there are games that they should win and can win, but then they fuck it up. and then it's a hope and a prayer to get back, and they did manage it, but while they are very highly ranked right now, and I do believe they will be in the tournament, I'm still not sure it will be enough to do anything in that tournament. Um, when every game is a struggle.
And
every game comes down to a dogfight, and some of them just shouldn't.
I feel like every game looks the same.
Yeah, I'm not seeing improvement in those areas. So we'll see. But as of right now, I don't expect much in the postseason. I think they'll be there. I just don't think I will expect much then.
No, I don't from them.
The second game I watched was Tennessee, Kentucky. Tennessee gets the win 56-34. Not unsurprising, but Tennessee kind of whooped the crap out of Kentucky. This game was never particularly close. I do think we continue to see struggles with Tennessee's defense. But the offense pretty much ran away with this one. Kentucky did not have a response to anything that Tennessee wanted to do offensively. And they did whatever the hell they wanted. It was a good game, obviously. I think high scoring is kind of what college football fans are looking for and hoping for. And so it was a really good game in that sense. I was glad Tennessee got the win, especially after last week, losing to Bama. So it was fun. If you're looking at it from a competitive game stance, though, it was never.
Fair.
So those were the two I watched.
Nice.
Not entirely sure what I will watch next week. I know Alabama is on bye again, which I was a little confused by. I did not realize college football teams had 2 bye weeks last year and this year. So,
Indeed.
learning more things every week, but I'm getting there.
Fair enough. This week you can at least branch out. Maybe get some new teams in the roster.
I'm hoping to watch Notre Dame.
Oh,
That's one I really want to watch. They play Boston College, so I don't know how interesting that will be, but I do want to watch Notre Dame. I will probably watch Tennessee, and we'll just kind of see how the weekend takes us.
Fair enough. That's kind of how my college football weekend is anyway. I try to watch the college I go to, even though it's kind of tough.
Terrible.
And then I'll watch Notre Dame. And then from there, it's just kind of whoever the hell I feel like.
Valid. So, it's helped me watching other people or watching with people that are invested in the sport in a way that I will never be. Like, I can get into it and I can respect and appreciate it and even enjoy it. I'll not be that. Die-hard Alabama fan. It's just different. So it's helped kind of watching with these people and getting to hear and see it from their perspective. But I'm gonna try and watch some other things this weekend. Some other teams.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. Well, with that wrapping college football, we will move into the NFL, who just wrapped week 7 of their regular season. 8. Was it 8? Okay, yeah. Wrapped week 8 of their regular season. And yeah, we'll talk NFL. Talk some football. It was a good weekend. It's an interesting weekend.
We got quite.
And we'll start with some breaking news.
We got quite a bit of news. As
Yeah,
always.
of course we do.
As
Of course
always,
we do.
we'll start with the injuries. Always sucks, but it happens. The Buffalo Bills defensive tackle Ed Oliver tore his bicep this week and is going to be out for the season. Really unfortunate for Buffalo, who was already dealing with problems on their defensive line, is now going to be without their best defensive lineman. So, not great. I think that's going to heavily hinder what Buffalo is capable of doing this year. But we'll see. The next one is Browns standout rookie Carson Swessinger. Suffered a high ankle sprain. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. He's been really good as a rookie. I think he's leading or is up there for defensive rookie of the year. So this is a really unfortunate injury for him and the Browns, who already suck. So
yeah,
all they have to look forward to is their young players, and now it's just going downhill.
Injuries are always terrible. To rookies, especially ones having great rookie years, that's always heartbreaking.
Next is Chargers safety Derwin James has a low ankle sprain. It doesn't sound like it's going to be anything major. They have not given a timeline for his return. I would imagine it's a 2 to 3 week injury. Probably won't see him put on IR, but still not great. Next is Dolphins corner Storm Duck. Suffered a ACL tear this week. Really unfortunate. Again, for a team that already sucks and doesn't have a good secondary, losing another secondary piece is never good. So yeah, not great there. But also, 10 out of 10 name. All-time name team right there.
Fair.
Continuing on with the season-ending knee injuries. Steelers defensive lineman Daniel Aquale tore his ACL. So he will be done for the season. Unfortunate, but just kind of a depth piece for the Steelers. Still never want to see an injury, but I think all in all, the Steelers will be able to overcome this one.
Well,
I mean, the Steelers aren't great anyway, but I don't think this one's going to change much for their season.
That's fair. Defense is terrible, though, so not going to help losing players.
No. Next is Vikings quarterback Carson Wentz is going to miss the rest of the season with a left shoulder injury. Really unfortunate. I think J.J. McCarthy was going to be back anyway, but now the Vikings really don't have a choice. It is J.J. McCarthy, or I believe that they signed John Wolford today to be their option. So there's that. Not great options for the Vikings. Not.
Yeah. And this was terrible to watch, by the way. The game was not good.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. But when he first hurt the shoulder,
you could see it was hurt.
And you knew how much pain he was in, and we were like, okay, he's done. And then when he came back out and got thrown down again, that was really hard to watch, especially because, unfortunately, the biggest moments and opportunities in Carson Wentz's career been impacted and hindered and cut short by injury. So to watch that happen unfold again, and that painfully, despite him trying to keep going,
finish the game.
It was rough. It was rough,
Yeah.
and the worst part of it was, I say this with extreme respect, it did not make a difference.
Yeah, he's past it. He's past it.
Yeah. Yep.
Unfortunate. Moving on. Bears second round pick defensive lineman Shamar Turner unfortunately suffered a torn ACL and will also be done for the season. So really bad injuries this week. Lots of season
especially because that one, it was one of those ones where when you watch it, you're like, it has the potential to be bad, but it also has the potential to be fine.
To be like nothing.
When someone rolls up on the back of a player's leg, you're like, either they really messed you up, or you'll be okay. And he walked off.
You need to walk
I
it
was
off.
hopeful. Yeah. And then not so much.
No. Next is Broncos corner Patrick Surtain. Is expected to miss. I've seen mixed reports. Some say 4 to 6. Some say 3. I don't really know where we're at. All I can tell you is he's not been put on IR yet. And that'll be the determining factor with a pectoral injury. So, unsure to the extent, but he'll at least miss, at minimum, 3 games, is what it sounds like. Next is Isaiah Pacheco. Is considered week to week with an MCL sprain. We're not really sure how long he's going to miss. If it's anything like Jaden Daniels, and I believe that's what he was hurt with, he'll probably end up sitting 2 to 3 weeks. I don't imagine the Chiefs are going to be trying to rush him back like the Commanders did. So he'll probably be out for a couple weeks. Unsure on the real timeline there. And then the last bit of injury news is Cam Scatabo, the rookie of the Giants, has a dislocated ankle, a fractured tibia, and a torn something. I don't remember exactly what ligament he tore. Needless to say, his leg was fucked.
Yeah.
And
you knew
they showed it. And
it was
they showed it on Red Zone.
Yeah.
And the minute they showed it, that foot was not pointing the right way. And you could see it. And it was like, oh god. So needless to say, he's done for the season. I think the Giants just put out a thing saying that he'll be back within 6 months. Which means he'll be back for training camp next year. I feel like that's a little optimistic, but who knows? That could just be the recovery for this kind of injury.
This one was heartbreaking. He's having a great rookie year. I think he and Jackson Dart have definitely injected hope into this franchise. And we were seeing real progress. I also think without Scatabo and Neighbors, it's going to get a lot more difficult for the Giants. But this was rough to watch, and I did not love being ambushed with the video footage of it. Because at least when you watch a single game, you can kind of tell, like, okay, it's about to get weird. Like, you can choose to look away or not.
To be fair, Scott made it very clear that they were going to show
Yeah.
it and gave a, if you don't like this, look away.
But yeah, it was rough. I
It's
don't
not.
recommend looking it up,
I know.
but if you do,
Just know,
you were warned.
yeah, it's not good.
So it yeah, it's heartbreaking. I thought he was having a great rookie year. Hopefully be back for next season and keep things rolling the way they were.
Yeah. All right. Moving past injuries, we'll get into a couple contract things that happened. First off, um, Tyler Lockett. We mentioned that he was released by the Titans last week.
You called it. You
I
called it.
I knew what was going to happen. I knew he was just going to go to Las Vegas. That was like the most obvious thing on the planet to me.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. He went to Las Vegas. To nobody's surprise. Signs a 1-year deal there. Um, he just goes to play with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. And
I
the
don't think it'll help,
Las Vegas
but
Seahawks. I don't know what to tell you. That just seems to be
yeah.
where anybody the Seahawks don't want right now goes there. That's just
Yeah.
is what it is. It won't help, but honestly, have fun. I think this makes sense. You either go to a place where you think you can win, or you go to a place that'll pay you decently and you can go have fun with friends and live in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I thought that was what Tyler Lockett is. I'm still not convinced. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It just made sense at the time, and it still does. So, fair enough.
Valid. Valid.
The other contract thing to talk about is New England has re-signed or has given Marcus Jones, their corner punt returner guy, a new contract. It's a 3-year, $36 million deal. So pretty good for him. Not making great money in the corner market, but is making pretty solid money. So good for him. Pretty solid deal there for the Patriots.
Yep.
And then there was a few trades that happened this weekend. Obviously, with the NFL trade deadline coming up, we're expecting quite a bit of trade movement.
We are indeed.
The first one that happened was the Rams and the Titans. The Titans send Roger McCreary and a 2026 sixth round pick in exchange for a 2025 fifth round pick. That fifth round pick is the Titans' native pick. They traded it to the Rams in exchange for Ernest Jones. If that name is familiar, that's the same Ernest Jones that the Seahawks have after trading with the Titans. So, kind of a weird one, but they get their pick back. The Rams get much needed corner help for not a ton of money. So, kind of makes sense for both parties, considering how bad the Titans have been. The next two trades both involve New England. The New England Patriots are sending Keon White to the 49ers in exchange for a 2026 sixth round pick. They are also giving a seventh to the 49ers. So, late pick swap plus Keon White. He just doesn't seem to fit the new regime. Is pretty much all I can say for that. And then the other trade is the Patriots are sending Kyle Duggar to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a 2026 sixth round pick going to New England in exchange for a 2026 seventh and Kyle Duggar. So, two very similar trades. I think both players just don't quite fit the new regime in New England. So, they recoup at least something out of it. So those were the trades. I expect a lot more to follow in the coming weeks, just with the trade deadline approaching.
Yeah,
Should be pretty interesting. And then the last bit of news, we have a quarterback change. The New Orleans Saints are going to bench Spencer Rattler and start Tyler Shuck. I think this is unfair to Rattler. I think Rattler had been doing well, but when you're a 5th round pick and there's a 2nd round pick quarterback sitting behind you, and you start turning the ball over the way Rattler was the past couple weeks, kind of, unfortunately, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, New Orleans, who hasn't been good, is going to see what they have in Shuck, and unfortunately, because of where they're at, they're going to be picking pretty high in the draft. So, I think this is just for them to be able to see what they have at the quarterback position and decide whether they need to take one this year pretty high.
Yeah, unfortunate for Rattler. I think he played well early on. I think as a young quarterback, when there's pressure to win, you start making those mistakes, and they've just come too often the last couple of weeks. And I do agree. New Orleans needs to know what they need coming out of the draft. And if quarterback is on that list, they need to know.
They're in the right spot to be able to make that work.
Yeah.
But that does it for the breaking news this week.
It's a lot of it.
Quite a bit of it.
So much. But we will continue to bring the news and discuss it. For now, we will move on to our games this week. Both the Ravens and the Seahawks, as well as our games of the... Nope, Seahawks were on bye. Jesus.
Seahawks were indeed on bye.
So then we will, as always, start with the Ravens. We finally won! Look, I didn't get up here and lose my mind when we beat the Browns. I am not going to get up here and lose my mind over beating the Bears. But while we lost last week, even though they were on bye, and you're like, how does that even happen? We won this week exponentially because not only did the Ravens get the win, but every team in the division lost. So, great week. Very exciting. We'll get into the game. Ravens, like I said, get the win over the Bears at home, 30-16. I do want to say this really fast. I filmed a preview. I filmed it. I did all my research. I did all the things. I had my notes, and I filmed it. And then I, like everybody else, got the notification that Lamar was not playing. And I went, well, never mind. I'm not redoing this. And then I thought they were going to lose. I was like, okay, well, that's it. That's a wrap. Tyler Huntley does get the start. Exciting to have him back in Baltimore. Exciting to have him back out there. Much better than Cooper Rush. I know some Baltimore fans wanted to see him sooner. I do think he would have made a difference the week prior to the bye. I do not think he would have made a difference the week before. I think he could have helped in the loss to the Rams. That's about it. So it was just good to get the win. I'm glad that we've come to our senses and we've moved off Cooper Rush as the primary backup. Now for the game itself. The return of injured players was the name of the game. It's great. It's great. The O-line did struggle a little bit in the beginning with penalties. I think there was an element of their third quarterback in 8 weeks, 7 with the bye, getting used to a different voice, a different cadence, everything. I do think that played a part in the beginning. So I'm not as concerned right now about that, but it is something to keep an eye on, especially if they go back to Lamar. I thought they had great protection. I think this was one of their better games in that regard. Huntley was sacked twice, I think, but he did have plenty of time in the pocket. He made good decisions. He had time. It was the best run game the Ravens have had so far this year. Henry had a great game. Obviously, I think the O-line, of course, plays a big part in that. Ricard did play 40% of offensive snaps, and he was a big part of the run game. So I think we're really seeing the importance of him and the importance of his presence as an extra blocker, especially right now with a very young, inexperienced, and unrefined O-line. So to have him back was great. And then Huntley did just a really good job. He distributed the ball really well. I think I counted 6 ball catchers. Zay was his primary target, but he got Bateman involved. D-Hop had, I know, a controversial catch with the face mask and everything, but it wasn't called. It looked more. It was a lot of hand fighting, and I think that's why it was let go. But I do understand the frustration from Bears fans if you rewatch the replay on that one. Charlie Kohler does get a touchdown on tight end day, so that was fun to see. Mark Andrews was involved playing. It was just a really well-rounded offensive game, and it was the best play calling game so far. Had no real complaints. It was more creative. It was more balanced. I thought we did well in terms of getting the run game going as well as utilizing the pass. We also didn't run the same play 3 times in a row for fuck all. So that was great. It was great to see. Fantastic. This is what this team can be. This is what this team should be. And so very happy to see it. I did take note that John Harbaugh was holding a play calling sheet, and I think it's one of the first times in a long time I've seen him do that. Historically, he doesn't. He just listens to what's going on. But with the concerns and criticisms of the offense, I wasn't surprised to see him holding that call sheet. It just was new. Defensively, saw continued improvement from last week. Not as much as I need, and not as much as they need to make an actual push. They're still giving up way too much in the passing game, and Caleb Williams left a lot out there. A more refined quarterback could have done significantly more damage. So there's concern there. They did do a great job of containing the run. With Roquan Smith back, Kyle Hamilton did spend about 60% of the time in the box. And I think that's because they have been getting beat on the run a lot the last few weeks. So that was exciting. Roquan returns, also allowing for fewer mistakes and miscommunications. When Roquan's not there, Hamilton is responsible for relaying the play call to the entire defense. And that can be a lot when Roquan's there, they share the responsibility. They each take a section. So with his return, we didn't see any misunderstandings or major errors and busted coverage. So that's great. This is the first defense to hold the Bears to under 20 points. So while I do think there's room for improvement, and I do think Caleb left some out there, to do that is really impressive and really exciting. There's still a lot left to be desired on the pass rush. While this was the best pass rush the Ravens have had going, I still didn't think it was quite enough. We saw Mike Green get a sack, but Van Noy felt absent the entire game. I'm not sure if he's still feeling his injury or he was double teamed for a few plays, but hoping to see a little bit more of him as the weeks go on. Nate Wiggins' interception, I think, was kind of the jolt this defense needed. They haven't really done well in terms of takeaways. So to have that this first game back was very exciting. It was a good game. And I do think it's the closest to Ravens football that we've seen all year. There are still some things they need to clean up. They have the benefit of having an easy schedule for the next few weeks to try and really right the ship. As for my players of the game, offensively, I did have two. Henry had a great game, 2 touchdowns. First week, over 100 yards. It was great. Tyler Huntley really went out there and played really solid football. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. I believe 50-ish. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. Yards on the ground. He never put the ball in danger. It was just exactly what you want from a backup and exactly what Ravens fans have come to expect from Huntley. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that, especially because I do think this is probably the only game he'll play. Defensively, my player of the game is Nate Wiggins. I think part of the interception was the wide receiver's fault. I also think it was part Caleb Williams' fault. Like, let's make better decisions. But he did undercut the receiver. I do think the turnover was a big momentum shift. It did lead to almost an immediate score by the Ravens offense. I just thought it was a really impactful play for morale, for the game, everything. And then special teams, Loop was perfect on the day. There was a kick I thought he missed, but he did not. So always very exciting. It was a good game. It was a solid game. I was confident that they were going to lose. I'm going to be honest with you. Sure, I heard Lamar was out. I was like, cool, season's over. But for them to go out there and play 4 quarters of complete football, even with the struggles, even with some of the things that I still see need improvement, it was a great game. And it was their best game so far. They did not play this well against the Browns. So that was great to see. Little pre-game drama I do want to discuss. The Lamar injury situation. For those that don't know what happened, after practice Friday, Lamar was listed as a full participant in practice. However, he did not take first team reps. He took scout team reps. Under CBA rules, if a starter takes scout team reps, they have to be listed as limited. They did not relist Lamar as limited until late Friday evening. At this point, betting lines have now been shifted. It is a really big deal. The league is investigating it. I do not believe this had betting motivation. I understand the concern with that, with everything going on in the NBA. It's unfortunate timing. I do not believe that's what happened. I do think the intent was for Lamar to have a full practice, and I do think the intent was for Lamar to play Sunday. If they didn't play Thursday, I think he would have played. I think the 4-day turnaround is what led to that decision. Not wanting him to play 2 games so closely together, giving him the extra time to go out there and play Thursday. I would expect at minimum a pretty hefty fine, but more than likely I expect them to lose a draft pick over this. It is a big deal. Sportsbooks do not appreciate being screwed over or misled, and the NFL does not appreciate it. They take their injury reports very seriously, and they take how players are listed very seriously. So, even though they did get the mistake corrected, it is a big deal. It will come with consequences in some form. The other little bit of news, we talked about last week, all of the stuff that got taken out of the locker room. And I had commented that I respected it, but if we thought that was the problem, I have bigger concerns if that's what coaching staff felt the need to do. Coaching staff didn't do it. Lamar did it. I guess Lamar kind of went through a tear one day in the locker room and told the equipment manager to take everything out. And if the TVs don't come out, turn them off. And that's what they did. You tend to listen to your franchise quarterback, especially a 2-time MVP. This is what he wanted. This is what he thought this team needed. And that's what they did. So every game, every ping pong table, everything came out and every TV was turned off. I guess Lamar was a little upset that the TVs couldn't come out physically, but he settled for just turning them off. He did clarify that he didn't think nobody wasn't focused or wasn't working hard, but needed to get back to the main thing, and that being the most important thing and the only thing they're focused on, and that's football. So I had concerns about it when I thought the coaching staff did it. To hear that Lamar did it made me feel a lot better. And the thing that I think I really took note of this week above all else, and we all know how I feel, we all know the respect I have, to see his leadership continue to be at the forefront of his mind, especially when hurt, has been phenomenal. His energy and his excitement for his team on the sideline this week, he never sat down. He stayed up. He stayed engaged, wearing a headset, wearing his wristband, ready to dap his guys up as they came off the sideline, to be a support for Huntley. His involvement in the locker room continues to be the most important thing. And from someone that's been a quiet leader for a long time, this was really exciting to see, and to see the players respond to it and the team respond to it, and to rally behind him in the decisions he makes for the entire team. It's just been great. It does give me hope. It does give me things to look forward to. And it allows me to think that this team does have good things ahead, as long as it can maintain. So, great game. They do play Thursday night in Miami. They play the Dolphins. So I have expectations for that game. And the Ravens cannot afford to lose right now. So I will put out a preview video as long as I'm given accurate information on who's going to play. So I felt really bad because I did. I
Fair
recorded
enough.
it. I was getting ready to upload it, and then beep, beep, beep. I was like, oh, what's that? Football news. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm done. I give up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that I kind of figured that's what would happen, but
Yep.
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
So we'll get one out before Thursday. It's a little quick turnaround. I'm hoping to just record it later today. So, but good game. We're seeing improvement. I would be shocked if Lamar does not play Thursday. I'm also going to be pissed. There's that.
That's also fair.
Alrighty. Well, that does it for Ravens football for the time being. Brendan, do you want to tell us about one of your games of the week?
Yeah, I'll really quickly talk about the Seahawks, just because they were on bye, and I don't have a ton from their bye week, but there was some stuff, and we'll kind of get ready. Unlike the Ravens, the Seahawks didn't lose on their bye week. I feel like they actually won their bye week, which is kind of fun. Um, the vast majority of my division was on bye as well, so that does kind of help. The only one that wasn't was the 49ers, but they lost. So
Mhm.
that's always nice. And then the Seahawks get some real help on the injury front. They've designated Robbie Oots to return to practice. And then I believe they're expecting Derek Hall, Julian Love, and Witherspoon to all practice in full this week to be back for the game. So, overall, a good bye week in terms of health and just our division. The only team in our division to play losing. Big
Yeah.
plus. So, good bye week. Um, so yeah. And then
Nice.
for my games of the week, we'll start. I don't know which one to start with. We'll start with the Jets and Bengals
It's a
because
great game. Great game. I was so happy. I was so happy.
um the game ended 39-38 in favor of the Jets. So the Jets win a game. They are now 1-7. They are no longer winless, which is really good. Um, I have so many questions. I have so many. Let's start with the Jets side of things. Congrats, you guys got the win. You got the comeback. Um, congrats to Fields for winning a game that he wasn't supposed to play in. I know he talked about it afterwards that it was kind of tough. He was benched, and then in classic Tyrod Taylor fashion, Tyrod Taylor gets hurt
Yeah.
before he can play. Tends to be the Tyrod Taylor method. So Fields goes back in, gets the win. I don't think he did anything special in this game to get them the win.
No.
It was heavily because of their run game. But the Jets' defense sucks. And I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think that would be the problem at times.
No.
This defense is
No.
terrible. But they got the win, so I'm not going to shit talk too much about the Jets. On the Bengals side of things, how? How do you lose to the Jets? You're up going into the fourth quarter, and you somehow lose to the Jets. I I think the Jets defense is bad. The Bengals defense is a crime.
Terrible.
Um,
Terrible.
yeah, I thought maybe the addition of Joe Flacco would help them, and I think it is. I think Flacco is actually playing well. But you might need a defense to not give up 40 points or 39 points to the worst team in the league. You would think that would be a good idea. But no, they fucked it up. It's kind of incredible. Yeah, I like the Bengals are just so bad. It's like
It, it it was a train wreck.
like
It was crazy.
how you like, and what's worse is I don't think they turned the ball over.
No.
And that's just even like, okay, you gave up a comeback to a team that's 0-7 to this point, who has nothing going right. Justin Fields isn't very good. You let them come back in the game because you simply cannot stop Breece Hall from running the ball.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It was incredible how bad the Bengals looked on defense. And also how bad the Jets looked on defense and still won. This game was just no defenses showed up, and the Jets managed to have the ball last and get the win. So, congrats to the Jets. Glad you got the win. For the Bengals, have fun sucking this year because it's not going to get better. I don't really care what you do. That defense is a train wreck. And you might want to consider not tying all of your cap space into your offense. Because it's not working. So, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game was just kind of dumb. I knew it would be. The reason I watched it was for the trade implications, and truthfully, I didn't see anything that I wanted to, because this Jets defense continued to suck, and that's what I was looking at, is what trade pieces could possibly come off of either of these defenses, and I don't think any of it's good at this point in time. Obviously, it was the defenses as a whole, but I didn't really see anything stand out from an individual player standpoint. So, it was at least an entertaining game to watch in terms of like scoring, and it was close, but it was kind of a waste of time. So yeah.
Yeah. Valid. Alrighty. Well, on to my game of the week. Also a waste of time. So, was Texans 49ers. Texans do get the win 26-15. Kind of a what the fuck game. Because the Texans aren't very good. Right? They're not. That O-line continues to be a massive problem. And the 49ers are so unbelievably hurt. And we talked about it last week that we kind of thought Fred Warner was kind of the final straw that was going to break the back. It was. A Mac Jones-led 49ers team without several wide receivers and the defense missing its most important player cannot take on the team with, I think, the worst O-line in football. It was just unfortunate. I do not think either team at any moment played good football. I don't even know that I would call it competent football. The Texans do get the win, but there was kind of no one to stop them. And that was just the reality.
Yeah.
I was hoping to wait on the 49ers, but they just keep getting more hurt. So that's why I did watch them now. Obviously, I know Brendan's excited that the 49ers got the loss. I really could have given a crap who won. I was just hoping for semi-decent football. I was wrong.
You were never going to get that.
No. So, was not a good game. It wasn't. I know Texans fans are happy. I know Seahawks fans are happy. Some of us just watch depressing football, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little surprised as to the fact that it took a week for the 49ers to realize that they didn't have Fred Warner in terms of but I think we are finally starting to see it take its toll on the Niners.
We are definitely seeing it. So, and that's kind of why I had hope. The week before, they played well. I was like, okay, they have a bad O-line. It didn't matter. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not a good game. Not interesting in the slightest. And at minimum, we can now say we've watched them play. So, good enough.
Good enough. Well, for my other game of the week, I went with the Broncos and Cowboys. This was a decent game. The Broncos won 44-24. This game, I didn't feel like went exactly how I expected it to go.
No.
It was pretty close. I kind of thought if the Broncos were going to win, it was going to be because the Cowboys' defense isn't very good. And that's what happened. So, the Cowboys, on the Cowboy side, I think that offense finally hit the wall they couldn't overcome in terms of.
Yeah.
I felt like that offense was playing really, really well, and then they finally hit a defense that's also playing really, really well, and the defense won. And then the problem is if the Cowboys' offense isn't performing, their defense isn't very good, and it leads to games like this where they get blown out by 20 points, and it's never competitive, and they look just kind of bad. This is kind of what I expected from the Cowboys this year in terms of what their trajectory was going to be. I will give the Cowboys credit. They were at least exceeding my expectations for a while there. But I think as
it never lasts.
Yeah. As they get into more difficult games against good defenses, you'll see this team kind of fall apart. But they will occasionally pull out wins just because I do think this offense is pretty decent. On the Broncos side, they could pretty much do whatever they wanted on offense. It was, they could run the ball. Bo Nix looked good other than the first drive in which he threw that interception. Had 4 touchdown passes. He looked good. They had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Dobbins had over 100 yards. it just looked like a good Broncos offense. It's looked like the Broncos offense we've been waiting to see the past couple of weeks, and finally got it. Defensively, I thought they played really good. Held a good Dallas team in check. Got a couple interceptions. Just overall had a good game. I think this is a really good win for the Broncos. Obviously, this keeps them at the top of their division, with the Chiefs winning, and the Chargers winning, but the Broncos are still at the top. So, good win there. I'll be interested to see what the Broncos do in terms of the next couple weeks once they start getting into division games. Should be coming up here soon.
Definitely. It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm not sure that the Broncos' problems are in the past, right? But to see Bo Nix go out and play a relatively complete game, especially after the week before, I do think was exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this is about what I expected from Dallas, and this is about what I think that team is capable of.
Yeah.
Especially when their wide receivers continue to go down. So they need help defensively.
Yeah.
Can't help but wonder if an all-pro pass rusher would have helped.
Can't help but wonder. Can't help but think that.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
And so. It's a fair question.
Alrighty. Well, that does it for our games of the week. What other games stood out? What else did you want to talk about?
The problem with this week in the NFL is there was a bunch of blowouts.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was just not a good week for football. So I have no games that really stood out to me. I guess if I had to pick one, it's that the Falcons don't know what the Falcons want to be week in to week out.
Yeah.
1 week, they're beating the Bills and look like a really good team. The next week, they lose to the Dolphins. So that's pretty much
terribly. It wasn't even close.
So that tells you really
and the Dolphins are trash.
That tells you all you need to know about the Falcons is that they don't know who they are and don't know what they want to be. So that's what I got for you there. That was like the only game, and that was like the only team I had a takeaway for. Is not sure what the Falcons are doing, but I'm not sure they're sure what they're doing.
That's valid. I don't have entire games that I want to discuss. I do have 3 things I would like to talk about. I have never seen a team care so little about something they care so much about. The tush push.
Oh yeah.
Is gone.
I forgot about that.
It's gone. Yeah. Like you battled in the offseason to keep it and have now given the entire world enough reason to hate it.
Yep.
And that's incredible. And I'm a little confused on what's happening. Did the officials go, oh, you know what? Y'all are saying it's hard to officiate, so now we don't have a fucking clue how to? That was not a goal line tush push. He has to touch the ground for the ball to be dead. Or the play to be over. You can't just pile surf or crowd surf. Hit the first down marker and be done. It doesn't work that way. It's only the goal line that.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused on what the league is doing and if they were told, hey, this is hard to officiate, and so then they went, oh, you're right, it is, and now we don't know what we're doing. And the Eagles were like, oh, you didn't ban it, so now we're going to give you real reasons to ban it, because your original reasons were crap. There's no injury data. Now you have reasons. Here you go. Yeah. Have a great day. It's shocking to see. I'm confused.
Yeah. Yeah. There's really nothing else to say other than they are trying to get it banned.
Yeah.
And also,
they want it gone too.
I don't know why we overcomplicate refereeing so much. If it looks like a fumble, then it is a fumble.
Yeah.
And one, the whistle blew after the ball was out. So even if you considered forward progress to be done, the ball was still out prior to the whistle blowing to deem forward progress had stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how in the NFL we can't challenge forward progress and when it is stopped is just beyond me. I don't understand any of this. Yeah, the officiating this year has been less than desirable.
Yeah, it's been pretty terrible. Second thing I want to talk about, because I mentioned it earlier, so I just wanted to do a little roundup of my division. The Bengals and the Steelers are perfect opposites that result in not being good. The Bengals have an extremely expensive offense. And especially without Joe Burrow, does not matter. The Steelers have the most expensive defense in the NFL. And they're old. And it does not matter. To his credit, Aaron Rodgers has done much better than I expected.
Yeah.
Much better. He has not been a problem. He has not been the kind of loudmouth that we're used to. And I think he's gone out there and he has operated this offense well. Defense, terrible. Terrible. And I'm confused by that because if you had told me that half of the Steelers would be really good and the other half would be a train wreck, this is never what I would have picked.
No.
So, for all of the complaints about the Ravens roster construction, when you look at both of these teams, I think we understand a little better why the Ravens are built the way they're built. Because this was terrible. Very happy for the Packers. I think they're still coming into their own. Still think they have a chance to be a great team in the NFL. They're still very young. Still very young. But the Steelers' defense is I'm going to be honest, even as a Ravens fan, watching the AFC North right now is depressing. The claim to fame for the AFC North has always been defense. That is what at least 3 of these teams have always done extremely well. You had the Bullies of Baltimore. You had great defenses for decades coming out of Pittsburgh. The Browns, if nothing else, had a great defense. And right now, it's like all of these teams are just a train wreck.
The Browns are still all right.
Myles Garrett had a career high of 5 sacks and was mad he couldn't get more. and it amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
Drake May continues to be a good, if not great, quarterback. And that's nuts. When you have Myles Garrett in your face the whole game, but a young quarterback still has the confidence and capability to operate at the level he did for that game is mind-boggling. Most quarterbacks get sacked by Myles Garrett like twice and go, okay, time to change things up. 5 times! And then he threw his helmet because they took him out. It just didn't matter.
No.
Very impressed with Drake May. I really hate the Patriots. Like, I really... Like, what do you mean? You only struggle for, 3-4 years. Quarterback. Like, what are you talking about? That you just keep...
Finding quarterbacks.
Like, I hate them. Like, I really do. Like, it's like the Steelers and then the Patriots. You know?
Okay. Alright. Fair enough.
Very happy for Drake May. Happy for Vrabel, I suppose. I'd be shocked if they're not in the A.J. Brown market.
Yeah. I don't think he gets traded, but yeah.
We'll see. I think him not playing this week was interesting.
We'll see.
They
I still
had
don't think he gets
best
traded.
offensive days, and he was absent. So,
They also played against the Giants.
I mean, that's fair. It's valid. Valid. Valid.
Without Cam Scatabo. And you could see the minute it
Oh my
happened,
God.
you could
It's
just
just
throw that
downhill from
game
there.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. They were overcoming Malik Neighbors really well. And I think if you'd had Neighbors and no Scatabo, you could have overcome that. I think both is a little too much.
And I also think, the injury itself plus the emotions it caused.
Yes. Yeah. Those are hard. Because if you think we got a bad view of it, right, which we did, on the field, much worse.
Yeah.
Much worse. If you're unclear, you can go watch Jackson Dart's reaction to Scadabo's injury.
It's not good.
And it just kind of sucks all of the energy out. So, hard to see, hard to watch, but that was just kind of my thoughts for the week.
Fair. In a week with not great football.
No.
It just didn't matter to me.
That's fair. Valid. The only reason I cared is because every loss the rest of the AFC North takes,
Yeah.
the mildly easier the Ravens' life gets. They still need to win a lot. They have to win a lot. But they are now only a game and a half behind the Steelers.
Which is just sad. Okay, it's just sad.
There was a week that the line shifted, but they are now back to betting favorites to win the AFC North. They have the 4th or 5th best odds to win the AFC and the 8th best odds to make the Super Bowl.
Okay. keep smoking there. Vegas, keep on smoking.
So,
Ooh,
yeah,
sure.
that's about where. And what's really sad, and I do feel bad, a little funny, in their fifth best odd, it might be fourth, but their odds to win the AFC, the Patriots are right behind them.
Okay. I get it's Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, but they haven't been good anyway.
I know. I don't disagree with the statement. I was a little shocked by that information as well. It just is true.
All right.
It is where the lines currently sit.
Okay.
The only one, if you're watching, the only one I would maybe put money into is their division.
That is, yeah.
The others I would maybe go a different way.
I would not even entertain the others.
So, like, if you wanted to make one about the Super Bowl, that's a little different. Winning the AFC, like being first in the AFC, that's a little harder. That's a little. I would maybe not do that.
I don't think that's even.
The most unrealistic of the three, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So, alrighty.
Insane.
Well,
Okay.
if that does it for our roundup of this week, we will look ahead to week
Yep.
9. Like I said, the Ravens do play Thursday night. 5:15 Pacific time, 8:15 Eastern time. They have to win.
Yeah.
It is not up for debate right now. They should win their next 5. Or I think counting this week, 5 in a row. If they don't, it's probably a wrap. So, and the Dolphins are not a good team. And
Yeah,
if the Ravens are going to get back to Ravens form, which is tough physical football and efficient football, this is a great time to show it.
This is the game to do
So,
it.
yeah. Played well against the Bears. The Bears are better. So, let's keep it going.
Yeah. Fair. The Seahawks are Sunday night football, so they're 5:20 p.m. Pacific, 8:20 p.m. Eastern, against the Washington Commanders. This game is in Washington. Seahawks coming off the bye. I like our chances. I don't know if Jaden Daniels is playing. Obviously didn't play this past weekend against the Chiefs. So we'll see.
And that did not go well. So,
I think regardless, I like Seattle's chances. I don't think the Commanders have it this year like they did last year.
yeah.
So I like our chances. This is one I feel like the Seahawks have to win.
It's fair.
Just with how the division is shaping up to go, every win matters, and you have to beat the teams that you should beat. And as of right now, the Seahawks should beat the Commanders. So,
Valid.
yeah, I'll have my preview for that. I will wait until we find out about Jaden Daniels, because I think that might change how I view certain things. But that's pretty much it.
Fair. Well, for game of the week, I know who I want to watch.
Okay.
But in keeping with our trying to watch new teams, I am going to go a different route, and I'm going to watch Atlanta, New England.
Okay.
I have not watched either of these teams in depth. I have many questions about Atlanta. I want to really give Drake May my full attention for a game. He is playing phenomenally well. I do think they're in the AJ Brown market. So I'm just kind of curious. I just want to see it. I don't think it will be a good game. So we're super clear. I do expect New England to win and probably handedly. But I'm going to give it a watch anyway. Not my preferred game. But the other one, I have watched both of those teams. So I'm not going to do it. We will probably discuss it. This won't be my game of the week.
Fair. For my game of the week, I'm picking the Vikings and the Lions. That game is 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I haven't watched either of these teams in depth, so kind of just want to see if the Lions are legit, and then we'll be watching J.J. McCarthy come back, and we'll see how the Vikings look under McCarthy.
Fair enough.
Speaking of the Lions, something has happened since we've been talking. We have breaking news with the Lions.
Oh no.
Aiden Hutchinson has signed a 4-year extension.
For how much?
No idea. They have yet to release any information.
Okay.
As in, this happened 3 minutes ago.
Gotcha.
So there's
I'm sure it's a big contract.
Rappaport has said the Lions and star edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson have agreed terms on a 4-year mega extension.
Yeah.
I'd expect it to be pretty sizable.
I think we have found the next highest paid non-QB.
I think so.
So, well, congratulations to Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's earned it. He is a great player, and this team, the way they're structured, does have the ability and the cap space to pay him like it. So,
yeah,
that's exciting. They drafted him, they developed him, and now they're paying him. And this formula might confuse some teams, Cowboys, but this is typically the norm. This is the goal. So,
yeah, I wish I had the numbers, but
yeah, that'd be great.
they just haven't released those yet. But
Fair.
I would expect it to be highest paid at this position.
Non-QB. Yeah.
And I believe highest paid non-QB, because that would make him automatically.
Yeah, pass rushers currently hold that market.
So, congrats to him. Very rare to see it happen mid-season for something like this. So, cool.
Yeah. Good for him. Great for him. I kind of can't help but wonder if they wanted to get it done in the offseason, but with the injury decided to wait a little bit.
Yeah, get him going again.
And then come out and see that he's played well. He hasn't really lost a step. Reinforces giving him the contract. So,
yes.
That's always great.
Yeah. But that is it.
All right. Well, any other random sports news?
I got nothing.
Conversation topics. Okay, cool. Neither do I. It's been hockey and baseball.
It's been hockey.
I'm still not even watching basketball yet.
Okay. Fair.
When baseball ends,
I watched a
I'll move.
little bit of basketball the other day, but it wasn't even. It was one game, so nothing to write home about. So yeah. Well, I guess that does it then for us this week. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if you have anything you want us to talk about, any teams you want us to talk about. We would be happy to accommodate. Um, but yeah, all that being said, I've been Brendan.
And I've been Dallas.
Thank you.